Welcome back, everybody. The Active Citizens Movement, along with the Congress of South African Trade Unions, or Cosatu, the Athmed Kathrada Foundation, Corruption Watch, and 60 other civil society organizations, have started the Orange Mask Friday campaign. This is in a bid to stop COVID-19 corruption. The founders of the hashtag Orange Mask Friday campaign are calling on South Africans to demonstrate their anger against the COVID-19 corruption and looting by wearing an orange mask every Friday up until the 9th of December. They say that the color orange is symbolic of the prison overalls that the COVID-19 corruption looters should be wearing. Lawson Naidoo, the director of the Council of the Advancement of the South African Constitution, or Casac, which is also part of the Orange Mask Friday campaign, joins us to discuss this. Good to have you, Lawson. Thanks very much for being with us.
Good morning, Leanne. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's get the word from you. Orange Mask Friday. Obviously, this is what I'm gathering, a moral call by South Africans to see people actually finally being held accountable for many instances, but particularly focusing in on COVID-19 looting.
Indeed it is. If we cast our minds back a few weeks, there was a moral call that was issued by the South African Council of Churches, the Kathrada Tutu Mandela Foundations, Casac, and the Foundation for Human Rights that I think reflected public anger and outrage at the COVID-19 looting that was taking place. And this was at a time when ordinary South Africans were making extraordinary sacrifices in order to deal with the pandemic, to stay at home, to wear masks, be socially distant, and do all of the things that were necessary to combat the spread of the virus. And whilst we were all doing this, there were those in government and in the private sector who were seeking to take advantage of the opportunities that were presented by the large-scale procurement of necessary PPE and other equipment in order to stem the pandemic. And it's really this level of frustration that I think that has boiled over. And we are basically saying with the Orange Mask Fridays campaign is that we must put a stop to the culture of impunity that has prevailed for far too long. Those that are guilty need to be investigated, they need to be prosecuted, and as you said, they need to end up in prison wearing orange overalls. This is a reflection of a call that the Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba has made, calling on for 2020 to be the year for orange overalls.
I mean, it's not the first time a call like this has been made, and this call has been made before, the year of the orange overall. That went sort of silent to the side. Obviously, we got into a pandemic, and now we slowly sort of see the country opening up, and we start seeing some of the instances of this COVID-19 corruption coming up, and this call is starting again and getting louder and louder. I believe over 60 organizations are taking part, and they're demanding details of these alleged looters, the companies involved, and also to see the different transactions that have occurred. Let's talk to some details. Do we have anything at this point in time?
Well, yes. I mean, I think, the call that's being made has resonated with government, with the president in particular, and there have been, we must acknowledge, some initiatives that have been announced recently to try and deal with the pandemic by increasing levels of transparency. So under the auspices of National Treasury, the details of all COVID-related expenditure are being made available on the National Treasury website, being collated from the various provincial government departments. And that information is now there for public scrutiny, and civil society organizations we are going through some of those details that are there to try and identify where the unscrupulous deals have taken place. But on the other hand, the president has also issued the Special Investigating Unit, the SIU, with the proclamation to investigate all COVID-19 related tenders. And they have been working away investigating those dodgy deals and ensuring that those that are culpable are indeed prosecuted and brought to book. In addition, Leanne, we've also had, a week or so ago, a very detailed report from the Auditor General, Kimi Makwetu, which outlines, some of these transactions, as well as the failures in the procurement systems that allowed many of these, unscrupulous people to benefit or to unlawfully benefit from the procurement processes.
And this is the reality. I mean, this is it's creating a lot of despondency amongst South Africans, and obviously we would like to see some consequences finally towards those that have been involved in this form of corruption, because at the end of the day, and we've been saying it in the news today, is that the poorest of the poor suffer due to this corruption. Nobody else. This is taking firstly lives. When you talk about the PPE corruption and the amount of some medical officials that have unfortunately not been able to get the PPE due to the corruption, and other issues as well. And so this is now resulting in dire consequences for individuals.
Indeed. I mean, I think, the Director General of the World Health Organization has, said that, procurement corruption relating to PPE equipment in particular is tantamount to murder. And this was a sentiment that was echoed and endorsed by the President earlier this week. And we firmly believe in that. And there have been numerous reports of frontline workers, succumbing to COVID-19 because of either not being provided with PPE equipment, or being provided with equipment that is defective and not fit for purpose. So poor quality of PPE equipment that's been supplied is a huge problem. And when you speak of the poorest of the poor, I mean, what really astounds all of us is how the 350 rand a month relief grant for the indigenous has been looted as well and being diverted, away from state coffers to individuals. And this is just unconscionable. And, it really demands strong action. It demands speedy action. And we're really saying that there must be transparency, there must be accountability, and we must begin to commit to a new era of ethical governance in South Africa. And that's got to be led from the very top by the national government, by civil society playing its role, ordinary South Africans playing their role by continuously highlighting what is going on and demanding that action be taken.
Yeah, I mean, we even spoke to SARS yesterday on the show, and they were talking to the amount of companies that are actually awarded tenders for PPE, and they weren't even VAT registered. They hadn't been audited, and many of them had never even supplied PPE before. It was the first time ever. So, there's a lot to be unveiled in all of this. Do you think that this campaign, we've already heard the President speaking out quite firmly about this form of corruption and putting investigations in, but are you hoping that this campaign will speed up the current investigations? Because the problem with South Africa, and I do say this because we've seen it in the past, is how slowly the wheels of justice move.
Well, indeed, and this is really this is the call to South Africans to say we need to step up as citizens of this country and demand responsible governance. We must demand that investigations happen speedily, that the NPA breaks loose of its shackles and starts to prosecute offenders in the courts, and ultimately that they are sent to jail. I mean, I think that, as I said earlier, I think this call does resonate with government, but that it's a process of continuous pressure to ensure that this does indeed happen. The President assured us a few weeks ago that when he signed the SIU proclamation, he would be receiving a report from the SIU on their investigations in September. We're now there, and we're certainly hoping that the President will share that information with the people of South Africa, so we can rest assured that action is being taken, that people will be held accountable, and very importantly, that the monies that have been looted are returned to the national fiscus.
Importantly, I suppose I need to ask you, where can we get orange masks from? I'm going through my collection and thinking, do I have an orange mask? I think I've got every colour but orange.
Well, I had a similar dilemma this morning, Leanne, trying to find an orange one, which I didn't have. But we would encourage people to either make their own or to source local SMME producers of masks and get them made. Get them made for your families, for your neighbours, for your friends, so that we can build up this process. As you said, it's leading to International Anti-Corruption Day on the 9th of December. But we're also wanting to mark a heritage weekend on the 24th, 25th of September, to say that this must be a weekend where we reject the culture of corruption and impunity in South Africa and reassert the values of openness and transparency and accountability that emanate from our constitution. So we encourage people to take up this campaign in the coming weeks and to make our voices heard, so government cannot ignore us any longer.
Yeah, indeed. And that was the question I was going to ask you as to why up until the 9th of December, that's when this campaign is running to, but that's the day of anti-corruption. So you've explained that one to us, which is a vital day for us. And we certainly are going to have to take a big focus on that particular day. Lawson, we thank you very, very much for joining us here on the program. And so that's pretty much the call. 60 organizations already joining this loud call now to stop corruption. Wear an orange mask on a Friday. Lawson Naidoo is the director of the Council of the Advancement of the South African Constitution. So it's #Orange Mask Friday campaign. If you want to take part, just wear a mask, an orange mask, on a Friday, and that will be speaking out loud and proud. All right, let's take a break. We'll see you after this.